Hi, I'm Bonnie Barker with BonnieBayCrochet.com, and I want to invite you along on another easy beginner's baby blanket. This one is called the Granny Square Ripple, and it was really fun to work up. It works up rather quickly, and it takes only one skein of yarn, although it's a rather large skein of yarn. Before we go any further, I'd just like to ask you, if you haven't subscribed already, please just hit that little subscribe button, and that way you won't miss any more new offerings that I have coming your way. Well, let's go ahead and see what this Afghan takes. Okay, I just wanted to give you a close-up view of the yarn that I'm going to be using. This is a 3 in the thickness, which is often referred to as a DK weight. Let me show you the label. This particular yarn is called Lion Brand Yarns Ice Cream Big Scoop. This is similar to the Ripple Afghan that I did in another video in shades of pink. The color on this one is mint. And let me give you some more stats. This is a 10-ounce ball. It has approximately 1,117 yards included in that. It should be plenty to finish our project. If you wanted to use a thicker yarn, you're more than welcome to do that, but do be sure that you bump up to a larger size hook from what I'm going to show you right now. I am using a size H or 8 or 5.00 millimeter crochet hook, and I'm also recommending that you have a yarn needle to hide a few loose ends once we finish this project, and you might need a pair of scissors. Okay, well, let's go ahead and begin. To begin, we're going to start with a slip knot, and then after that we are going to chain 165. Now that's an awful lot of chains, so I would ask that you could try to do this in a very undistracted place, so that you're not losing track. If you need to even write down the groups of 10 on a piece of paper as you go, that might actually also be beneficial to you. But I'm going to show you a method I kind of like to use. I like to count by 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I stop and I reposition my thumb and tall man finger, the 2 fingers I use to hold my fabric. And then I do the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And by doing it this way, if someone in the room or somebody has to ask me a question, I'm a mother with 5 children, it's inevitable someone's going to need to ask me a question. I can pause on a multiple of 5. I still remember that there are 20 chains here, so hopefully if I have 120, I'll still remember that. But just because it's a multiple of 5, it just helps me to know where I am. So I just thought I'd throw that out there, since we do have to chain 165. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this chain. After chaining 165 chains, I'm ready to start row 1. And to do that, we are going to work single crochets. We're going to start in the second chain from the hook and single crochet in that stitch. I'm working along the side of the chain, and single crochet in each chain across. When you get to the end, you should have a row of 164 single crochets. You probably don't have to stop and count each and every one, as long as your count was accurate on the chain, and if there is a single crochet in each chain, then you're good to go. So go ahead and finish that row of 164 single crochets. Now that I've worked all the way across the row, I did want to show you that it may look a little curly, and that's perfectly fine and normal at this phase, and that curliness will go out as we continue to the next row or 2. So for row number 2, go ahead and turn, chain 3, skip the first 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and work 3 double crochets in that next single crochet space. 1, 2, and if you've never seen a double crochet, it's as simple as this. Yarn over, hook in the hole, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and notice we did 3 in the same place. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. Skip 2 stitches and 3 double crochets in the next stitch. If I'm going a little too fast, I'm trying to go as slowly as I can. If you need it to be even slower, there's a little icon at the bottom right of your screen. It looks like a gear, and a little round gear with teeth on it. And if you just click on that, it actually can slow the video down to, I believe, up to half speed so that you can watch things very slowly. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time. Skip 2, and we're going to work 3 double crochets in that next stitch. So this is what we have so far. Now the next thing we're going to do is very different. We're going to skip 2 stitches, and then we're going to work 3 double crochets, a chain 3, and 3 more double crochets all in the same place. Okay, so 3 double crochets, chain 3, not 2, but 3 chains for this one, and 3 more double crochets in that same place. That's 2. If I can grab the hook there. Okay, go ahead, 3. And so now we've made the corner, which is going to be the top of the chevron. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochets in the next stitch, skip 2 and 3 double crochets in the next stitch. We're going to be doing this a lot across this row, skipping 2 and then 3 double crochets. Okay, so now we have the beginning here, we have the peak here, or the top of the chevron. We have 2 these double crochet clusters. Now we're going to do something a little different, and this may actually be something new for you if you are new to crochet. I'm going to do something that's called DC3 together. And what we do here, we're going to skip these 2 first of all, and we're going to begin the first part of the double crochet, pull through 2 loops, but we're not going to complete the double crochet. We're going to do that 3 times and a 3rd time. So we have the beginnings of 3 double crochet. Then we put the yarn over the hook and pull through all 3 loops, and you have like a little, it's called DC3 together. Now we're going to skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do another DC3 together in the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert the hook, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, hook in that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then you should have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. And so what we've just completed there, if I can get my hook out of the way, is the bottom of the chevron. So you see what we're doing? Now in between the top and the bottom of each chevron, you're going to have 2 of these double crochet clusters. As we do this a couple more times, I think you'll see. So now we're going to skip 2 and then 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 2 and then 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 2. Now we've already done 2 of these double crochet clusters. So when we skip the next 2 stitches, it's time to make the top of the chevron, which is 3 double crochets, a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. So let's stop and see what we have so far. So this is what you should see forming. If you don't see this, you need to probably take a step back and try again. All right, so now we're going to skip 2 and 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 2 and 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, let's stop and take a look. So we have the top here, and we have our 2 clusters of 3 double crochets each. Now it's time to skip 2, and it's time to start making the bottom of the chevron. We do the double crochet 3 together. That's 2. That's 3. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook, then skip 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, and then the 5th stitch we're going to do another DC 3 together. That's 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook, and now we have the bottom of the chevron. So you want to make sure that we're going up, then down, up and down, all the way across. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work this entire row with you, even though that may bore some of you to tears. If so, just go ahead and fast forward. But for those of you who need to go all the way across with me, I'm going to do that with this video. Skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, so now we have 2 of those clusters, so it's time to do the top of the chevron. Skip 2. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets in the same place, chain 3, and then 3 more double crochets in that same place. Okay, let's again see where we are. So now it's time to go down, skip 2, 3 double crochets in that next place, skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next space. Now that we have our 2 clusters, it's time to do the bottom of the chevron. Skip 2. Let's do 3 double crochet 3 together. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook. Skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do another of those DC 3 together. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 4 stitches on the hook, or all loops on the hook. Okay, so that was the bottom of the chevron. So now it's time to skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next stitch, skip 2, 1, 2, and then 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, now we have the bottom of the chevron and those 2 double crochet clusters. So now it's time to skip 2 and make the top of the chevron. 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. Okay, So let's stop and take another look. So now we have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 tops of the chevrons. It's time to go back down. We're, I think, a little bit past the halfway. Skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 2 and 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, so now that we have the top of the chevron and we have 2 of those double crochet clusters, it's time to make the bottom of the chevron. Skip 2 and do double crochet 3 together. It's 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, skip 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, and then next we will also do double crochet 3 together. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook. Now let's step back. That was the bottom of the chevron, so now we're going back up again. Skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Now we've done those 2 double crochet clusters. It's time to do the top of another chevron. Skip 2, and we're going to do the 3 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets in that same place. Okay, let's stop and take a look at that. So now it's time to do 2 more. Let's skip 2, 1, 2, and then 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 2, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets in the next. 1, 2, 3. The biggest thing that you need to be mindful of as you do this section is that the corner top is always going to be followed by the corner bottom. It's going to go up and down because you don't want to do 2 of these corners and then it'll cease being a chevron. Okay, so now we've done these 2 clusters following the top. So now it's time to work the bottom of the chevron. Skip 2, and we double crochet 3 together. That's 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 4, skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do that again. Double crochet 3 together. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook, skip the next 2 stitches, 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets in the next. Okay, now that was the bottom of the chevron. We have our 2 clusters here. Now it's time to do the top. Skip 2. We'll do 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets in this next space. Chain 3, and then 3 more double crochets in that same place. Skip 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochets in the next space. And then we're going to skip 2 more stitches, 3 double crochets in the next, okay, so we had the top of the chevron, so now we're going to make the bottom of the chevron, skip 2 and DC 3 together, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then DC 3 together again. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook. Now we need to skip 2, and we're going to do 3 more double crochets in the next. I have a knot here. I'm just going to work it in the back. I will work this into the work later. I'll show you how to hide those towards the end of the project. Okay, and then skip 2, and then 3 more double crochets in the next stitch. Now we're getting towards the end here. Skip 2, and we're going to work 3 double crochets, chain 3 and 3 double crochets in the next stitch. This is the corner. One, 2, 3. Now we are to our last 12 stitches, and this is what we're going to do for those. We're going to skip 2, work 3 double crochets in that next stitch, skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next stitch. We're going to skip 2 and 3 more double crochets in the next stitch. Notice that we're going to have 3 clusters going down instead of 2 for the ending part. Okay, now we're going to skip 3 just like we did at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work a double crochet in that last stitch. Okay, let's take a look at what we should have here. I'm going to go from the last part. So we have 1 chevron, 2 chevrons, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chevrons. Now this would be a good time to do a visual check to make sure that as they go along, they're going up and down, up and down, up and down, as mine is, as you can see. Okay, if they're not doing that now, they're not going to do it on any of the other rows to follow. Okay, so once we've done a quick check on that, I'm going to go forward. Now to do so, I'm going to go ahead and turn, and I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to skip this stitch, and I'm going to skip these 3 stitches. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be working in the big holes in between the clusters. So that should make things a little bit easier. So we're going to start off with 3 double crochets in between the clusters, just like this. Just like you're doing a granny square, except that we're doing it in a ripple pattern. And I'm going to go in between the next cluster and do 3 double crochets, and there's another right here. Go into between this one and do a set of 3 double crochets. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're just working in between those clusters. Now whenever you get to a corner, this is where it's going to be different. Whenever you get to a corner, chain 3 like this. That's where you work another corner, just like the one below. 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 3 more in that space. I am speeding up a little bit. Hopefully by now you know what a double crochet is, but you'll get the idea. So now we're just going to work in between the clusters, and we're going to have 2 of groups of the 3 double crochet going up and down each side from this point on. Let me just clarify. So at the beginning and the end of this, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 groups of those 3 double crochets. But when we're going up and down through the rest of the project, we're going to have only 2 of these in between. So it's work 3 double crochets in between the next one. And then now, this is where it's important to pay attention. So now we're going to be working these double crochet 3 together. We're going to work 1 here. We're going to skip this space here. And then we're going to work another one on this side. And I'll do that for you right now. Double crochet 3, or DC 3 together. Yarn over. Pull through all 4 loops. Remember, skip the middle, because that way it'll keep it as the bottom corner. And then in the next one, we DC 3 together again. Like that. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. And then we begin going up by just doing 3 double crochets in each of these spaces. 1. You know, I'm going to back this out because I don't like the way that looks. I'm going to try it again. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And let me do the next one. 3 double crochets in the next space between the clusters. Okay, now let's take a look at this, what we have so far. So we have the top, we have the 2 double crochet clusters, then we have the double crochet DC 3 together, then we skip this space and then DC 3 together, so it keeps the angle going on the bottom, and then 3 here, 3 here, and then we're ready to work a corner. And we're going to do this for the remainder of the blanket, really. So for the corner, we do 3 double crochets. I need to hire me a professional yarn puller. I spend a lot of time pulling yarn out. Okay, 3 chains and 3 double crochets. It's going to be kind of fun to see how the colors of this yarn change as I go. And then again, we're going down now, so we work 3 double crochets in the space between the clusters of each of these. Okay. And then again, we've come to the point after we do 2. Remember now, we only do 2 of these with the double crochet clusters like this as you go up or down. Okay, if you do more than that, you might actually upset the way the chevron looks. So now it's time to do a DC 3 together here. Pull through all 4 loops, skip the next space between the stitches, and then go to the next one and DC 3 together. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook, and then 3 double crochets between the clusters. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets between the next cluster. Stop, take a look at that. Now it's time to do the top, and you know what to do. 3 double crochets, pull out some yarn, chain 3, and then 3 more double crochets in that top of the chevron. So let me go ahead and show you once again what we should have. Okay, now I've done that 3 times for you, going up and down. So the thing that you need to remember mostly is that there are only 2 of these clusters with the 3 double crochets as you go up and also as you go down. Otherwise, you are making the top corner of the chevron or the bottom corner of the chevron, which is made up of those DC3 togethers, and make sure you skip the bottom space here and then work in the one right next to it. Okay, so go ahead and work this all the way across the row, and I will show you the ending of this row. Once you get to the last section, I'll go ahead and work this with you. We're going to be working 3 double crochets in 3 in between spots. That's 1. And then 3 double crochets in the next spot, and 3 again in between those clusters. And the last thing you're going to do is work 1 double crochet in the last, in that chain 3 space, just like that. And this is how you're going to end every single row. Okay, so to start row number 3, which is going to be the way you're going to start every row following, 1, 2, 3 chains. Remember, we're going to skip this space here. We're going to start out by working 3 double crochets in the first space between the double crochet clusters. And you're going to have 3 of these starting out and ending. 3 double crochets. In between the next space. And then 3 double crochets in the next space. And then once you get to the top, you know what to do. 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 double crochets, and just continue just like you did row number 2. We're going to do the same thing for every single row of this afghan until you get it to the length that you would like it to be. So let's take a pause and take a look at that. So you're working in between the clusters. So you know what to do at this point. So go ahead and finish as many rows as you would like. After 17 rows, I wanted to give you a preview of how this color is coming out for this baby afghan. It's really kind of fun to work this, the granny square and the ripple. This is actually the first time I've done this, and I'm really enjoying this quite a bit. So I just wanted to show that to you and encourage you to just keep on going. I'm just going to keep going until this measures approximately 30 inches. After crocheting 48 rows, the beginning row of the single crochet plus 47 more rows with the 3 double crochet clusters, my blanket now measures approximately 33 inches long and approximately 33 inches across. So, and I'm also just about out of yarn, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the blanket right here. And I have made my double crochet in that chain 3 space like I've done at the end of every row. Now I simply give it a chain and pull it tightly, and take my scissors, and I'm going to leave, a generous thread, 5 inches or so, 5-6 inches would be good. Okay, now it's time to hide the loose strand, and I do that using my yarn needle, and I just simply thread that into that yarn needle, and I'm going to try to hide this among the white colored yarn. So I'm going to bring this, just going to run it through these stitches. There's really no hard and fast rules on how to do this. I'm going to bring this down like this, and I'm going to run it underneath these stitches, mostly because they are of a similar color. Okay, and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go up through this stitch, and then I'm going to come back down through this stitch. And I promise you, if you hide this well so that the strand does not come loose, nobody is ever going to see this. And I'm going to run it underneath these 3 stitches, just like this. And I'm going to make sure that it's not pulled real tight, and I'm going to give it a little clip. So now that strand is well hidden. You can't even tell. And I believe I have just a couple more where there were some imperfections in the yarn that I need to take care of. But for the most part, I am completely done with this Afghan. Okay, this is what I have, my completed baby blanket. I hope you found it as easy as I did. For those of you who may not have this particular type of yarn, one thing you may want to consider is using leftovers that you may have from other projects. Just make sure that they're the same thickness concerning the yarn. Now, if some of you didn't have the number 3 or decayed weight yarn, this works very well with your regular worsted weight or number 4 weight yarn. And an excellent alternative to working it in just one continuous scan is to break that up into different colors, and you can make stripes and really design your own baby blanket, and the ripple pattern will actually come out maybe even a little more defined, and I think you would really like that. Well, that's all I have for now. If you haven't already, I'd just like to ask you to please hit that little subscribe button and hit the bell if you did like this video. I want to have more coming your way. I don't want you to miss out. God bless. Bye-bye.